Mr. President, Americans cherish and respect our military. They support and celebrate those who wear the uniform and serve our nation. And when our nation is at war, they understand that this obligation to support deepens. Indeed, just Friday, I got forwarded to me an email from a mother whose son was being deployed to Iraq, and he said the one thing that was critical to them was to feel they had the support of the American people. The American people understand that no matter what your ideology, no matter your view of the conflict that we're engaged in, you have to support those we in Congress have deployed to execute policies that the President and the Congress have adopted. They didn't adopt the policies, we did. And when we send them, they deserve our support. American people understand it's not about politics, but about the duty of citizenship, a duty to stand in solidarity with those in harm's way and those who defend our freedoms. So I believe these sentiments, shared by Americans overwhelmingly, are important as we evaluate the conduct of President Obama's Supreme Court nominee, Elena Kagan. They raise serious questions that really must be answered before we have a final vote. I think it's just important for me to say that. Some people have suggested that the issue I am going to talk about is not significant. I think it is significant. I was involved in the debate toward the Solomon Amendment. I remember how it all happened. Ms. Kagan, who became the Dean of Harvard Law in 2003, kicked the military off Harvard's campus and out of its campus recruitment office. She gave big law firms full access to recruit bright young associates, but obstructed the access of the military as it tried to recruit bright young JAG officers to support and represent our soldiers as they were risking their lives for our country. It was an unjustifiable decision. But rather than acknowledge that Ms. Kagan had acted inappropriately, the Obama administration has instead done something odd to me. It's tried to defend this indefensible activity, distorting the clear facts in the process. We need to get that straight. As we begin to think about this nomination, we need to understand the facts. During a recent television interview, Vice President Biden actually said that Mrs. Kagan was, quote, right, close quote, to interfere with military recruitment. He then defended her conduct with the suggestion that she was somehow acting under a court order to keep the military people off campus. But in reality, let's be correct, Mr. President, I misspoke there. To keep the military from utilizing the normal recruitment offices available to every other law firm in America. In reality, the opposite situation is true. Mrs. Kagan disregarded the law, really, in essence, in order to obstruct military recruitment during a time of war. In 1995, Congress passed the Solomon Amendment, which required universities to give equal access to military recruiters if they wish to continue to receive taxpayer funding for their university programs. It was a matter, the passage of the Solomon Amendment, of a large national debate. I suspect most Americans have a vivid recollection of those discussions when it was well known that certain law schools like Harvard were blocking the military from coming on to their recruitment offices and utilizing the resources like any other entity could do. Administrators at Harvard and other law schools had been restricting access of military recruiters for several years to campuses, citing as their reason their opposition to President Clinton's don't ask, don't tell policy. about gays in the military. That was something that Congress had voted on. It's a matter of statutory law, and President Clinton had indicated his support for this way it would be enforced, and it came to be fairly settled as a national policy in that regard. And it was Congress's hope that the Solomon Amendment would put an end to this obstruction. And it basically said you couldn't deny our military the right to come on campus if they were following United States law and still get federal money. But Harvard persisted nonetheless. Finally, in 2002, I believe it was the Air Force made the official complaint. The Department of Defense spoke up. It quoted the statute that had been passed in the United States Code, Title 10, and they quoted to Harvard, if you continue to deny entrance to your recruiting center to our military personnel, you get no more federal money. So at that point, the principle evaporated. This great principle that they were standing on, a little money dangled in front of them, and they folded up on this point. And Dean Clark, Miss Kagan's predecessor at Harvard, got the message, and he complied. And the restrictions on the military recruitment were lifted. So this means that when Ms. Kagan became Dean of Harvard, the military had full, open, and equal access to campus facilities. That is a policy she inherited. That is the policy she deeply opposed. And that is the policy she set about to reverse.